Hi, this is a tutorial for all Fire Temple related goals in Bingo. Because this tutorial is aimed more towards newcomers, I'm going to be assuming that you have Goron Tunic, and Bombs, and Hookshot. So what you want to do first is almost every single goal related to Fire Temple, you're going to be talking to Darunia. So instead of talking to Darunia, we can skip him. Get these guys out of the way if you want. So to skip Darunia, you need something in your bottle that you can pick up again. So a fish or bugs or anything like that. So you want to pick them up, make sure you have the bottle in your hand, so don't slash your sword or anything. You want to make sure you're facing this door, but make sure you aren't too close to the door, or when you press your camera will not lock in the next room. So to do time stop, which is the trick that allows us to skip Darunia, you want to hold Z, press shield, and then press bugs, whichever button bugs is on, 1 or 2 frames later. So it should look something like this. Now once you're in here, your controls will be inverted, and you want to make sure you're facing the door and hold Z. If you press Z too close to the door, your camera will not lock, and you will talk to Darunia in the next room. So if you continue to hold Z, your camera will stay faced towards Link, and it will not load Darunia. So you want to come over here, make sure you do not face Darunia or the cutscene will start. What I like to do is I like to turn a little bit towards this angle, and then what you can do is you can hold Z and kind of do a side walk like that, where you walk straight up a little to the side, not straight. So you want to hit the switch, get the key. And because Darunia is still there, we want to make sure we don't look at him. So we want to target the chest, side hop, make sure you don't target to Goron or talk to him. And we just want to leave the room without looking at Darunia at all. Okay, so once we're in this room, the general route is to go left here. And get this Goron key right here. One thing to note for the free all 9 Goron skull, you only need to open the gate, you do not actually need to talk to the Goron. So if you're here for the 5 Sculptureless goal, you'll know there is a Sculpture right up here where the Song of Time block is. If you have Song of Time and you don't want to do the jump, you can just play Song of Time to get up there. Otherwise, what you can do is you can do a little strat here where you backflip and then just kind of do a up, right run. You don't need to roll or anything, and you'll just kind of jump up there holding Z. So a good strat for this room is to just side hop. If you're worried about health at all, or the like, you can play a little safe, wait for him to do this, and then jump slash him. And then just jump slash the token to reach it. Otherwise you can just use hookshot or something. So once we have this and the key, we want to head over to the other side of the room. And a good safe route is to go left here. Assuming you have Tunic, you actually can just go straight through the lava, you'll take very little damage. And pull a bomb fairly early here, so you have just save a little bit of time waiting for it to explode. A good thing to note about these 2 keys is that they are generally mandatory for every single Fire Temple goal, except for boss key. So make sure you do not waste your key going into the Flare Dancer room in the bottom floor, or you will soft lock, and you will not be able to get another key. So once you're here, you want to run over close to this edge. Aim as far up as you can. I have long shots, so it's fairly easy, but you can make this with just hook shot as well. Then you just want to push the block and do this fairly normally. Okay, so in this room we have a trick called block clip. So you might remember from normally playing this game, you're supposed to push this block and push it over here where you can climb on those gates and climb up there. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to clip into the area where that Goron is caged, and we're going to open his cage. And that will also give us an easy key. So we want to hit the switch, get all the way into this corner, facing the block, hold left and crouch tab, and then pull a bomb and walk into this corner, and you can just hold up targeting C. But you want to make sure you do it fast enough where you do not hit the switch. Because if you hit the switch with your bomb, you will have that happen, and you'll just fall out of bounds, and you will need to save orb. So this time I will do it fairly fast to actually make it. It's very lenient. You don't need to do it as fast as possible. So feel free to take a few seconds to make sure you're lining everything up. Another important thing is when you take out the bomb, make sure it is all the way above Link's head. Otherwise, if you instant drop the bomb, it'll be slightly out positioned and you won't clip. So get in the corner, hold left, crouch tab, pull it all the way above your head, drop it, and just walk into this corner and hold up. And you should land in here. Then you can just side hop or do whatever you want onto the switch and get the key. And so this is the 4th Goron we freed for the 9 Goron goal. This room up here has several routes depending on which goal you're going for. So I will try to cover them all. So if you're just here for the map and compass, you don't need to bother with this room. You can just head straight into that door right there. Same goes for Megaton Hammer or Beat Fire Temple. You can just head straight into that door. You don't need any more keys. If you are here for the skulls, a general good route is to weird shot this skull right here. There's actually a skull right behind this exploded wall right here. So you can come up here and do a weird shot to get it. And that'll allow you to stay on top of the maze room instead of dropping down. So for the sculptural route, you need 1 key to enter the bottom floor behind the hammer blocks. So a good key to get so that you don't drop down. You want to open this Goron's cage and go over to him from the top. If you don't feel safe about climbing these things, you can always use hover boots. It's actually fairly fast. Because I do believe the boulders can hit you if you're climbing it. So this will give you 1 extra key for the basement sculpture. And there are 2 ways to get up to this platform up here that leads to the 2 sculptures in the top area. The first way I'm going to show you is with a hover. So you're going to want bomb shoes and bombs. You can do it with bombs as well, but it's a lot more difficult. If the torch slug is there in a good position, close enough, you can get ISG off him. Otherwise, you can just do normal bomb ISG and not lose it. Okay, once you have that, You can do a pretty cool strat here where you do staircase hover, equip hover boots, and don't do that. I'm actually very bad at this staircase hover. Actually, I am not going to show you the entire staircase hover. That's the setup. Once you have that staircase hover, it is 9 bomb shoe hovers up to that platform. So once you have 9, you can unequip hover boots. Make sure you unequip hover boots or we will not get dumped backwards distance. And you just backflip onto that platform. You can do 10 or 11 hovers to feel safe. You can also do it with bombs, but because bombs tend to give you more backwards distance than shoe hovers, you might not make it high enough before hitting the platform. So the other method is if you have long shot and you've already been to Water Temple, you want to backwalk off of here, roll. Assuming you have Master Sword, you want to do 3 slashes and hold shield. And then you want to aim for a very small pixel here. A good way to line it up is you see that there's a red dot on the platform right there. You want to aim just left enough so that the red dot disappears. So this is too far right, and this is just about right. It's very precise, so keep trying if you don't get it. Then you want to go up and down until you just barely don't have a red dot. So right there is too far down. That is just about where you want. Don't feel bad if you don't get it right away. This is very precise. You have 1 or 2 pixels to hit. That was actually fairly fast. Alright, and that's the 2 Skulltulas up here, leaving only 1 Skulltula left. So if you're only here for the Skulltulas, you want to save warp from here. Otherwise, if you're here for the Gorons, I will show you another route starting from the bottom room. A good thing to note about the Skulltula route is that you do not actually need hammer. Okay, so the Goron's route is pretty much the exact same starting from here. You want to hit this switch. I usually get this key because you need either this key or the Song of Time Goron key. So I usually go over there and get that key. And then once you have that one, you want to drop down, hit the switch, get this key. Roll all the way over to the other side of the room, and don't get hit by boulders. To where the other Goron is. You want to free this Goron and also get his key. And the reason we get these keys is because going through the center of this floor is much faster than going back down and climbing up to get on top of the maze room again. So we'll just come here and go straight through. A good thing to note about the map is you do not actually need to come through this room to get the map. You can instead go from on top of the maze room, you can just climb up the gate, so I will show that in a second. And if you're just here for the Gorons, you don't actually need to go up to the maze room again, you can just go through that door right in front of you with the key. So over here for Beat Fire Temple, Megaton Hammer, or Map and Compass, you'll be going through this door. So to get the map, you can just come over here and climb this little gate here, and drop down, and the map will be right there. A good thing to note about this temple's map and compass is that they are generally not considered worth it unless you are already in the Fire Temple. These map and compasses take, I think, about 4 to 5 minutes to go all the way through. And an important thing to note is if you come over here, you actually hit the firewall. So if you just hit the firewall, it'll disappear. A good way to get out is there's a damage boost you can do, but because the firewall is here, I can't really do it anymore. But what the damage boost is, you want to place a bomb on the other side of the chest and stay close enough to the center of the chest where you don't jump off when you get hit by the explosion. You want to equip hover boots on second frame, and you want to grab this ledge from the boost in speed that you get. So instead of that, I'm just going to go back around. You generally don't want to do this because it requires getting an extra key or two, because both of those doors connecting to the center room require keys. So you want to come through here. Every single route just goes straight through the right here. If you're just here for the compass, you can actually just go around here and enter this door, and the compass will be right here. What you want to do is skip the left side of the maze room and go into the center, and which also allows you to skip one key, is you want to get on this wall, get close to this firewall without actually touching it, and then you just backwalk and you will go right past that firewall, which allows you to skip the entire central room. Then you can just go around here. There's a few fast strats to go around it, but you can walk around if you want. Hit the switch to lower the firewall. There is a firewall skip if you want to look that up, but I'm not going to cover it. Blow up this door with a bomb. It doesn't really matter how close it is. And these pots contain a heart and a bomb drop. So a lot of people like to get these pots, both fill up their hearts for fighting Volvagia and for the free bomb drops. So now we have the Flare Dancer room. The important thing about the Flare Dancer is that a jump slash from the Master Sword does significantly more than any other weapon. So you want to make sure that you jump slash with the Master Sword and use power crouch stabs to hit it. And using this method, it should only take 3 cycles. And a cool little thing you can do while that guy is dying, you can grab the very edge of it, and then during the cutscene you can climb up. If you don't climb up, you'll actually get crushed, and it'll just respawn you in this room. So now what you want to do in this room is, you want to pull out a bomb, drop it here, and then start climbing up this gate. The most important thing about this room is pulling the bomb as soon as possible, because Link continues to climb the fence while the switch activates. It doesn't really matter how fast you get to the fence, as long as you are climbed all the way up top before the switch cutscene ends. So you want to come here. This switch is a little weird. It's about a few pixels off the ground, so what most people do is they jump slash or side hop onto it. I'm surprised it actually was that easy. You do actually need to go through the kind of scary looking, very skinny area right there. And now we have the Megaton Hammer. Okay, so now I will show you the boss key skip that uses hover roots. There are boss key skips that do not require hover boots and are like just 1 or 2 seconds faster, but I won't cover those. This is a very basic one. You want to get into this corner. A good way to get the angle is from the chest. You can just side hop 3 times, back walk, and hold that ledge for a few seconds, and then you can drop and you'll have your angle. If you mess that up, what I like to do is I like to take my hook shot out, see where the red dot is, and just go right of where the red dot disappears, so right there. And that should give you an angle that works. So now you want to have hammer out, hold left, and press hammer. And you want to find one specific frame like this. So you want to find this frame exactly. You want to keep holding Z, equip hover boots, and hold upright. And now that you've equipped, you want to hold straight right. And now you just let go of everything. And once you see this door on the screen, it's not very precise. You can go late, you can go early. You just want to jump slash and hold up. And then here is when people like to do their equips. So usually you have a fish if you're doing the wrong warp, unequipped hover boots, stuff like that. And now you're in Volvagia screen. I will show how to fight Volvagia in a little bit. Actually, I can just show you it right now. That way I don't have to talk to Runia. So a lot of people know about the bombing Volvagia's hole, but I will explain how exactly you do that. There are 2 strats to this. One is you drop 1 bomb before her first phase, 3 bombs in her second phase, and 3 bombs in her third phase. The strat I will show is 3 bombs in her second phase and 4 bombs in her third phase. If you drop them too fast or you don't hit her, if you have tunic, that's okay. Otherwise, it can be a problem because you're on a timer. So you want to make sure you have a hammer jump slash stored right there. You can use power crouch stab to actually hit her, but it needs to be a hammer hit. So you want to take out a bomb, drop it in the very bottom left corner of this hole, and you should hear that noise of her getting hit. And I have definitely messed up this fight. Make sure you don't get hit by the flame because it deals a lot of damage. I'm actually going to restart the fight because that was very bad. So this is why a lot of people like to jump slash into the fight. That way you know you have a hammer jump slash stored so you can actually stun her. So 1 bomb, 2 bombs, 3 bombs. Stun. Make sure you take these ones out early so you have enough time. Stun. And that should kill her. If that hit does not kill her, that means one of your bombs missed. Okay. I don't actually have a fish, so I'm just going to use bugs. Bugs are random, so it's generally a good idea to not use them. It's very possible for you to just not be able to pick them back up. Well, what I like to do is I like to side hop and wait for them to come back. Do ocarina items onto the warp, and then just hold up after this cutscene ends, and press B. And continue to hold up until you start falling, then you can let go. And side hop twice, and just keep this angle until you die. And then once you do save and continue, assuming your cutscene is correct, you should be in the forest temple. Just give it a few seconds if it's not responding. That just means... actually, I think I did soft lock, but if that happens, then that means your previous cutscene is bad. And it crashed. Right, I think I can edit this out of YouTube, so it doesn't matter too much. Okay, welcome back. Now you know what a crash looks like. So a very important thing about wrong warping to forest from fire is several cutscenes do not work. I believe the Death Mountain Crater cutscene does not work. That's generally the one you will almost always have if it doesn't work. If you're not sure whether or not you have one that works or not, you can always play Bolero, which will work, or you can save warp, which will work. Okay, so to finish this temple up, we have one more Grand Free, and we have one more Skulltula to get. So either way, you should have one key for this door right here. If you don't have Hammer from the Skulltula route, what you can do is you can actually clip in here. If you have Hammer, you can just knock away these blocks like normal. So what you want to do to clip is you want to line up with this, side hop right, do not target, do 2 crouch stabs, and then jump slash. And just mash A and you'll open the door very easily. This room is very difficult. I am very bad at it, so don't feel bad if you're bad at it too. The general strat here is to quick spin, but if you're like me and you're very bad at quick spinning, it can be very slow. So in here, you can just run up. You generally don't need to worry about the like. You can save warp before he gets you and grab the Skulltula. And if you're just here for Skulltulas, you can save warp. Or if you're here for Flare Dancers, you can go over here. And same with the first Flare Dancer, you want to make sure you have a jump slash stored. And the cool thing about this one is, if you do have Hammer, you can actually do a crouch stab into the center to knock her down early. And because I have a Master Sword jump slash stored, doing power crouch stab with the Hammer will still deal damage. And now that we're here, we can just open this and we'll have all 9 Guarants freed. I do want to show one more thing in case you have the goal of getting the boss key. If you're just here for the boss key, what you can do is you can just come to this left side door here, line up with this wall, and do a weird shot. And you can just weird shot the chest. Get the boss key. And now that you're trapped inside of here, you either need to play a song to warp out, or you need to save warp out. One last thing I forgot to mention is the goal: defeat both Flare Dancers. Once you have defeated the first Flare Dancer, You do not need to get the hammer. You can just come straight down here. Just make sure you have an extra key. But otherwise, that wraps up Fire Temple for Bingo. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and let me know if there's anything I can improve on. Thank you very much.